Okay, tonight we are going to go over three different little mini routines. First, we'll do one for the hips, then we'll do one for the shoulders, and we'll do one for the spine. And these can all be done separately, and I'm going to actually make them available separately, but we'll do them in order here. Good news is, too, is you don't really need anything for this workout other than some wall space we'll use a little bit. If you would say your quads are on the tighter side, you might need a yoga block. I think that doesn't apply to most of us in the group anymore, thankfully. And there's one thing you might need a chair or a bench for, but I'll show a version where you don't need a chair or a bench. So that is a slightly harder variation. Okay, so we are going to start off with the hips. And we'll come down to the ground for this. So the first thing we'll do is we'll start here and get into our kind of classic floor quad stretch. And so I'm going to tuck my foot, I'm going to point the foot back. And then one of the keys here is that I want to have my thighs lined up with each other. I don't want this one kicked out. I'm going to be an angle in here. And here's the one case where you might need a yoga block. If this is really tight, you're going to stuff a yoga block underneath your straight legs, butt cheek. And so we'll just relax here for about 30 seconds. I'm just giving a little bit of glute tension. Let this all kind of release here. We don't want to go in too deep. We're just kind of getting into a position where we have a stretch, but if you really had to, you could hang out here for a while. Don't worry, we won't do that. So now we'll swing that leg out, switch sides. If you used a yoga block, you'll want to get that in position again. Again, thighs are together. A little bit of glute tension, leaning back. So this all three of these little circuits we're going to do twice through. So we'll return to this one, and the second time we get into each stretch, you can try going a little bit deeper. So now we're going to swing out of that. You're going to take this foot and you're going to sweep it around and come into this kind of classic figure four runner's stretch looking position. And then leading with our chest, we're going to square off and reach toward that front leg and find mild hamstring stretch to start. You can grab wherever it's comfortable. And now I'm going to take my inside hand and I'm going to grab anywhere along my leg or all the way to the foot if I can. And then I'm going to take this other foot, thread it underneath my armpit and reach through and grab that knee. And here we'll be able to get in a really nice upper back and torso stretch at the same time. And from here, we'll take a big breath in and expanding all your ribs and your sides. Pause for a moment. Let it out, relax. Sit up, cycle the legs through to the other side. We'll do the same thing there. So relaxing forward. Again, we want it to be a milder stretch here starting out. As a rule on all these, we don't want to go in too much too soon to where we have to back out of it. It's better to start easy and increase it rather than start too intense and then have to back out. So then the inside hand is grabbing wherever you can. My outside hand threads underneath that armpit, grabs the knee. Find your stretch there, get a big breath in. Pause for a moment. Let everything out. Relax and come upright. Then we're going to scoot onto your back. And then what I'm going to do, I'll start with both legs out front. I'm going to draw one leg up and then out to the side. And I want to then pull this toe up and drop this knee down and in while keeping my hips on the ground. And your thighs should be pretty much lined up here. So, like so. And then we'll finally take this free leg up and hook it here, which will give you a little more pressure, stretching that hip down and in. And we'll just settle here for a little bit. This one may not feel like too much of a stretch. It's really more a stretch of some really deep muscles that don't feel quite the same. This whole time I'm pulling my foot upward at the bottom, which helps protect the knee. Okay, release that top leg. Legs are up straight. Now I'm drawing the other foot up and out. Drop the knee down and in so that the thighs are parallel. Pull the toes up. Bring the other leg up with the foot. Let it drop down into a stretch. Then relaxed breathing here. Release that foot. Swimming hips under. Actually, right. Almost forgot one there. I'm going to go hands out to the side. Then I'm going to lift a straight leg and bring it across. And I want to bring it across low enough that I can keep this shoulder on the ground. Touch the toe, come back, other side. Think about moving through the upper part of your back. Now we're going to do 3 of these side to side, trying to reach a little higher each rep, as long as you can keep those shoulders glued to the ground. Then we'll sweep sitting upright. We'll come into our 90-90 position, front knee bent to 90 degrees, back knee bent to 90 degrees. So we're in this kind of sort of a question mark looking shape here. And then I'm going to turn my chest so it faces my front thigh or shin, and I'm going to keep my back straight and I'm going to hinge forward here. I'm trying to relax into position. If anyone finds this really tight and this knee is really up high off the ground, you can always pad it with a yoga block is a good idea. And everything else applies. Folding forward. And from here, try to find those muscles you're stretching, tense them, use them to push yourself back upright. And then once we come upright, I'm going to then take this outside knee and try and lift it up and open it up. At some point, then we come through this wide-legged position here. I'm pulling my knees outward and I continue the movement. That puts me into the 90-90 on the other side. We'll do the same thing as before, square the chest up with that front thigh and shin and folding forward here, relaxing deeper into the position over a few breaths. Again, focusing on sinking in deeper as you exhale. And then finding some tension in those muscles you're stretching and contracting them to help push yourself back upright. And now we're going to transfer back to the other side. So I'm going to try and keep this front leg down, open this back leg up. At some point now we come to the middle. We pause here, pulling the knees apart. Pivot over to the other side. Now we're going to work our way back. One more time. Prying yourself open here. Now we're going to come back to the middle. Lift. Middle position. Now from here, I'm going to slide both feet in. I can lean back a little bit, bring my feet together, grab the hands. We'll sit up nice and tall, and then using the strength of your hips, try to pull your knees down toward the ground as much as you can. Might not be a lot, but you really want to contract those muscles. And we're going to hold there for a 10 count, pulling the legs to the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. I'm going to lean back just enough that I can lift my legs and draw them out to the position we were in, that bear sit position, this is called. And then I'm going to lean back again, and I'm going to bring my legs out wide and straighten them out. This will put us in our pancake position. And from here, I'm going to crawl my fingers forward. If you're really tight on this one, what you can do is instead push with your fingers behind you to lean forward as much as you can. I'm just going to stay here for a moment. Now leaning back. Now we're going to try and travel our way back. So I'm lifting my legs, bringing them back to that bear sit. I'm going to complete the rotation through now. And then when I get there, I'm going to pull my feet in closer. So I'm in this position that's called a shin box. My feet are now, foot is now against my thigh, and the back leg is bent more. And from here, we can then reach forward and rotate through to the other side and back. And we're going to add a variation. Once we come through, we're going to lean forward enough that I can pop up onto my knees, squeeze my glutes at the top, opening those hips, and then lower back to the ground. Pivot through, pop up. Complete that back and forth one more time. This time, once we land in the shin box, we're going to do something. Last piece of this little series, I'm going to take my hand that's by the, would be your front leg really, and I'm going to post it really close to my butt. And from there, I'm going to try to lift and push myself up into a squat. So then I'm going to go over the other side, plant one hand just behind my butt, smoothly lower myself down to the shin box, keep that hand right where it was, press back up, switch to the other side. So we're using that hand push to lower side view. And then go ahead and drop to the ground, spin yourself around, tuck that leg in. We're back to where we started with the floor quad. Now I can squeeze that glute a little more. If you loosen up a bit, you may be able to lay back a little more. Always keeping good tension in that glute. Press yourself up. Sweep the one leg forward, other leg back. Again, thighs lined up, tuck in, glute squeeze, drop back into a stretch. Okay. Press yourself up. Now we're taking that back foot, opening it around into our figure four, reaching and leaning forward into a hamstring stretch. Relaxing into a position there. Outside hand grabs the foot or the shin, or inside foot, I'm sorry. Outside foot threads underneath, grabs the knee. Find a good stretch across that upper back. One big inhalation to really open your rib cage and your back. Squeeze it all out. Release. Switch the legs. Other side. Inside hand grabs. Outside hand threads through. Find your stretch. Big maximal inhalation. Release from there. Way back. One knee out to the side. Get that leg up or drop into that internal rotation stretch. You might find this is markedly improved since the first go. And switch over to the other side. Keeping the toes pulled up on the stretch side foot, which will help protect the knee. There shouldn't be any knee twisting here. And then we're legs out straight, arms out to the side, palms up, shoulders on the floor, and lift and reach that straight leg over. Supine scorpion stretch, keeping the shoulders on the ground. You're able to reach over good. Think about getting your foot that you're reaching with and the hand on the opposite side of the body as far apart as you can while still keeping the shoulders on the ground. And sweep up into our 90-90 position, folding forward and relaxing. Good metric is to be able to touch your forehead to your feet. Press yourself upright. We'll make the transition now that you're a little more familiar with. Prying through over to the other side. And squaring off again with the front thigh or shin and folding forward. Pressing back up. Pivot through the wide leg position over to the other side. This time we'll actually add in hinging forward and down and then pressing yourself back up, prying through back to the other side. Back to the first side. We'll pause there without the drop. Come back, lean back, pull the feet into that butterfly position. Grab on. Sit up nice and tall, pull your thighs down under your own strength as far as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Back to the bear sit for a moment, sitting nice and tall. Out to pancake straddle. Reach forward or reach back. 3, 2, 1. Press up. Oh boy, cramps. Back to bear sit. Pivot through to the other side. Shrink the feet into the shin box. Shin box switch to pop up. Squeeze. Other side. 2 reps here. Here, we'll pivot over, plant the hand on the far side, up to squat, plant the hand on the other side. We'll work twice, back and forth through that. And then you'll end up in the squat, and it'll slowly come up to a stand out of that. And that is our hip flow for the day.